As mentioned, there are two ways in which you can clarify which body shape you are. So the first is a stand and see method, which could be obvious enough and show you exactly which shape you are. The second is by taking measurements. So let's start with number one. So what we're going to do is you're going to just wear underwear or relatively tight clothing like gym wear, for example, and stand in front of the mirror, but far enough back so that you can see pretty much your whole body, especially your shoulders, your waist and your hips. And what we're going to do is to take notice of what you see. And on assessment, do you see a slightly wider shoulder line compared to your hip? Or do you see a slightly wider hip section compared to your shoulder line? Or do you seem well balanced? And what about looking at your middle or your waist? Do you notice a defined waistline or a smaller upper section just under your breasts? Or do you have quite a round middle? Make a note and then compare this to the teachings that we've just been through and create greater clarity around which you are, but remembering that you can indeed fall into two shapes or maybe even three with the different characteristics. And so the most important thing is whether you are wider at the top or bottom or round the middle, because dressing will be about either building up the top or building down the bottom, or both, or de-emphasizing your middle section. So once you've done that, if it's clear which you are, you can continue on to section 3, where you select your exact body shape and how to dress it. But if not, then let's go on to method 2, which this will be better for some where it's not quite clear cut, because we'll actively be taking measurements and then you'll exactly identify whether you have a larger upper, middle or bottom section. So first we'll measure around your shoulders. Now to do that, we're going to start with the tape measure at the top of one shoulder and wrap it around the front and then around the back to take your measurement from shoulder to shoulder. If that's a little bit too tricky, please break it down into 2 so you can do the top of one shoulder to the top of the other shoulder and write down that measurement, and then the same again from the top of the shoulder around the back to meet the other shoulder and at the top and take that reading as well. And what you're going to do then is add the 2 measurements together to get your full shoulder reading. But if you've got somebody at home that perhaps could help, then please ask for their assistance and jot down that measurement down, marking it shoulders. We're then going to measure your chest, and this is the fullest part of your chest. So again, from one side of the body, wrap the tape measure around the back to meet again at the other side and mark down your measurement as chest. Now for the waist, when we're doing the waist, for those who have a waist, we'll be looking for where you get a slight dip in the body. Now this isn't always around the belly button. For some, your waist can sit slightly higher or lower, but what we're looking for is that slight little dip, and that is your waist. It's not your belly button for everybody. And with the apple shape, don't forget this might be your widest section. So where you see the slightest part of your waist, take that measurement and write it down. And then lastly, we're going to measure the hips, and that's going from one hip bone around the body again to meet with it on the other side, and jot your reading down, marking it as hips. And then what it should do is reveal your body shape. So remembering what the illustrations and characteristics we went through in the section prior, if you have a wider upper body section, it's likely that you are a strawberry. If you have a wider bottom section, it's likely you are a pear. If you are quite well balanced with shoulders and hips being quite equal with a nicely defined waistline, you are highly likely an hourglass. And if you have a wider middle section, then it will be you are an apple shape. But if your all measurements are pretty much aligned and similar, then you would be a straight body shape. And with that, your next section in module 3 is to define how to wear the clothes to really create outfits that make you look and feel amazing. So whatever your shape is that you've determined, we're then going to select it in module 3 to find out how to wear and pair your items to create fabulous looks. So good luck, and I will see you there.